Oh, I'm sorry, you guys thought I was done? Me? Done? When I promised animatics? Ye of little faith. No, I did say that I wasn't doing animatics for that first listen through of Epic, but we're done with Epic. Well, the first listen through, at least. So now instead we're going to do some animatics. Now I have been crafted a playlist headed up not only by Mary Thickness and other of my mods, but also by our ever great Mycenaean news reporter themselves. And so I really am kind of going in blind. All I know about the animatics is they are supremely popular. They are part of what I think got a lot of people into Epic. And what I'm going to be watching, from what I understand, are none of the official animatics. These are all fan-made, essentially. I am thinking that I will watch the official massive live stream that was done to celebrate the Ithaca saga. Yes, even sitting through apparently the interesting animation choices for 600 Strike. I think that would be a fun thing to do, and I was thinking maybe I could do that as something more of a live stream event thing where we all just sort of hang out and we all watch it together. But I'm still kind of figuring that out. You guys can let me know if that's something you would like to do. So, instead, I'm going to look at my playlist of over 100 animatics. I wasn't sure when I was going to start this, but I'm under a boil advisory right now for my water, so you know what? I'm gonna take out all this energy that I can't fling in other places into watching the animatics. So let's go in here. Let me at least put, I don't know, some loose version of ground rules on the table. You know, I started off that first ever video on the Horse and the Infinite basically giving you my CV, if you will. While I certainly like to doodle, as I say, like kind of on my own time, and I have a deep love of animation as a medium, and I think there's so many things you can do with animation. I also think there are an awful lot of people who don't give animation the respect that it deserves. I think it's a phenomenal medium, and I could never myself do it. But I have deep respect for the people who do. I understand how much time and effort it takes, especially from what I've come to understand. A lot of these animatics are basically hand-drawn animation, which takes even more time, so much skill. I'm absolutely down for that. The lens that I can bring to it is mostly just sort of a filmmaking lens more than anything else. I'm really just excited to hopefully see a whole plethora of art styles. I'm a big sucker for interesting art styles, especially how they use the camera. Because the cool thing about animation is you don't think of like, oh, there's a camera, because obviously you're not in live action sitting at the camera. But no, there's a camera that moves through 3D space, even when you're doing, 2D hand-drawn animation. It's still a camera that you're manipulating. So there's some really cool, like truly incredible stuff you can do in animation because you get to play in a 3D space and do things that aren't possible in live action. So I'm very excited to see that, although understanding a lot of these are going to be animatics. Trying to think of the camera and how you do things and what that does probably takes so much time and effort, so that I just want to say that even if I ask for it, I'm like, oh, I wish they did this, this, and this. That is absolutely not a knock towards the animators, because they have far more talent than I could ever have, and I will freely acknowledge that. I also don't expect to see any period-accurate costuming, remembering that this whole story is taking place in the Bronze Age of Greece. If you want an idea of what people were wearing in the Bronze Age, I'm going to throw up here some images by probably one of the greatest historical illustrators for ancient Greece and ancient Rome, all the different periods of it, and that is Peter Connolly. I've definitely used some of his art before in my Epic videos. Truly one of the greats. And his art, I remember seeing since I was a little kid. I happened to have a couple books actually that were his art, and I found it fascinating because it was art I'd never seen that kind of style before, and that's because he is what is known as a historical illustrator, and all of his illustrations that he's using are pulled from, archaeological record and history and everything else, and it's incredibly cool. So what men and women were wearing, what hairstyles they had, especially the women, they had some pretty cool hairstyles. I'm highly doubting I'm going to see any of this. Will I likely make fun of any broom helmets I see? Probably. Of course, yes, I am aware that means I will eventually have to go into Chris Nolan's Odyssey and be like, of course he's in the broom helmet. Whatever. Again, I'm not coming here for historical accuracy, per se, because mostly I'm just sort of interested in the creative vision these people will have and how people design the characters. Though I have been told that a lot of the animators tend to design the characters similarly to the voice actors themselves, which I think could be interesting, although I do worry that would make Odysseus seem way too young. but whatever. Anywho, let's get into this and see how many I get through before I decide, hey, maybe I should break. I'll also go in saying I really know nothing about any of these animators. Like, truly. I don't know their pronouns, I don't know their histories, I don't know if it's one person or a team, so I am going in extremely blind, and I'm going to refer to every animator as they, them, just because I don't want to misgender anybody. So the first one I have here is The Horse and the Infant. Of course, we are going all the way back to the beginning. This is going to be so wild. And this is by Virtue. All right, Virtue, let's see The Horse and the Infant. Oh, it's dusk. Oh, that's cool.
All right, my brothers, listen closely.
Nope, stop. Okay. First off, I like that the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, each one cut closer. That's a really cool use of editing. Why are there torches in the horse? Torches in the horse. Oh my god, this is gonna be one of those things where I'm just like, it's not no touchy the cows, it's no torches in the horse. Here's why I say no torches in the horse. One, you're in a wooden horse. Why are you lighting fire in a wooden horse? You're just gonna run the risk of setting yourself alight. Like, my panic is more, you're gonna set yourself on fire. Oh, there's that. And then number two, especially as the sun goes down, which we know the sack of Troy happened at night, according to the stories. I mean, even this animatic is setting us, it looks like we're at dusk. They're gonna see the light in the horse. Yeah, I get they're partying and stuff, but there were still guards and sentries and stuff around. Like, they're gonna see firelight in the horse and be like, that's weird. What's that about? Why do you have fire in the horse?
Tonight we make the Trojans.
Oh, this is interesting art style.
10 years of war, they killed us slowly.
That sword is
but now we'll
choice.
Be the ones who slay.
Oh wow, red in the cave. Very dramatic color.
Your children. Your families wonder where you've been.
I love how
they're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say and you'll see them again. Yes, sir! Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards. Menelaus will let our mates through the gates and take the whole city at large.
Interesting that we are keeping Odysseus clean shaven. He probably would have had some facial hair. When that Diomedes doesn't even, like, you don't even see his irises, it's just white. Diomedes, fucking badass, by the way. Don't fuck with Diomedes. Like, after Heracles, who is truly the pinnacle of heroes, in so many ways than one, he was the example for all heroes. Like, he was what it meant to be a hero. He is not only worshipped kind of as a, like, in a hero cult by humans after, you know, long after his passing, but he is actually immortalized and made one of what are called the Theoi, aka the gods. He is brought up to Olympus. There's even a whole, like, ritual, like, almost a birthing ceremony so that Hera really becomes his new mother, and he is married to her daughter Hebe. Fascinating shit. But after him would frankly probably be, like, Diomedes, the most militarily experienced of all of the Greek heroes at Troy, including old King Nestor. And Nestor is, let's remember, what's our phrase? He's old. Man is said to have lived 3 lifetimes. He is older than everyone there without question. He has seen more things history-wise than any of them, but Diomedes has more military experience, which is wild to think about. I really love the designs for all the characters. Like, they all look different, though I like that they have distinguished, even though I was joking that, like, hey, everybody else should have facial hair, that Agamemnon and Menelaus, the 2 Atrides, the brothers, are the ones with facial hair, kind of notes them as being siblings. Oh, there's cool shit going on here. Also, the red of his cape. I'm not even sorry about Ajax getting shade. Oh, when Neo's so young. Just one of the buzz cut. It's a little distracting. I love the way we're cutting for all these faces. The expressions are great. Oh, that's interesting. The red is only on the inside of his cape. I wonder why that choice was made. Okay, first off, I love that Penelope and Telemachus, their faces are hidden from him. He only sees, you know, Penelope's mouth. I just think that's a really interesting creative choice that, you know, he's imagining them. He doesn't really, you could almost say, does he truly remember what they even look like anymore? I mean, I'm sure he does. But also, with this, okay, it says here now, I'm just reading on the title, animation. I was gonna say animatic. I'm like, this seems like a full-blown fucking animation. This is beautiful. The art style is super interesting. It's like not one that I feel like I've seen enough. And I'm just, oh wow, this is incredible.
Penelope, what do you try for? Telemachus, what do you wish for?
Oh, popping up at the horse.
What do you fight for? Attack!
There's an awful lot of swords. Where are my spears? Ooh. Open the gates. Gosh, the motion is so good. Yeah, awful lot of swords. Oh, that the figure's unseen, no face. Oh,
What's that?
okay, we've transitioned our color palette. Before, you know, we have this kind of purplish, grayish color, just sort of no color, and then the standout of the inside of his cape being red. And we've had the orangish colors, the hues for sundown, and then for firelight. Now we've transitioned into a very blue palette, and we had that figure with no face and the wide eyes coming at him. Very fascinating. It looks like because his entire costuming has changed, that we're gonna have Zeus's omen, if you will, his vision, be something that's gonna be fully in his head, which I wonder how you would then transition that out into just a man, depending on how much of this you keep in his head. Not too much to say really about the camera, although I will say a top-down shot, perspective. I don't envy you making that. Ooh, the eagle.
A vision of what is to come.
Oh.
Cannot be outrun.
Oh, hi,
Can
Zeus.
only be
Those
dealt with
ribbling
right here
pectorals.
and now.
Sorry, I feel like Meg from Disney's Hercules.
I don't
Interesting, we're
think
keeping his
you're
face
ready.
totally in shadow.
A mission
And I like this use of the swirls. It's
a foe
the curves
unlike
versus
anyone
hard straight
you have
lines.
faced before.
Art nerdy stuff.
Say no more. I know that I'm ready.
I don't think
I see you, rim lighting. So this is all still happening in his head, which is so interesting. Oh, wow.
It's just an infant. It's just a boy.
Aww.
What sort of
So we're making him
image
really
that
young
does
looking,
he
like a
pose
newborn
like
almost. He looks about the size of a football.
this is the son of none other than Troy's very own Prince Hector. Know that he will grow from a boy to an avenger.
Oh, that's
one
cool.
fumed with rage as your
The way he moves, it's like, makes me think of like Venom from Spider-Man.
Left to save. You can say goodbye to. You can say goodbye to.
Continuing to keep Penelope's face hidden. These hidden faces is such an interesting creative choice. Oof, jolted out of that vision fast.
Please don't make me
Changing
do
the color
this.
palette.
Don't make me do this.
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose.
Looking at his hands. Oh, that's so menacing. And just the helmet there. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Of course, it is the broom helmet. That was really interesting. That's a very, it feels like such a unique art style. One I feel like I just don't see enough. Really interesting stuff with color going on. Again, color palettes. Like somebody would have to tell me, like, what's the difference between animatic and animation? Like, where's the, is there a hard line? Is it a blurred line? Are we on a sliding scale here? This is where I go, I don't watch a lot of fan animations. It's just something that's never really come across my For You page or anything. So I don't watch a lot of it. So this is interesting. Oh wow, and it only came out a month ago. Man, that's excellent. Well done, Virtue. Okay, so I've got another, the Horse and the Infant. So just to say, I have 3 Horse and the Infants, and the final Horse and the Infant also has Just a Man. So then I've got technically 3 Just a Mans. But the next one is Genjo 3. Genjo the Third. Genjo I. I'm gonna go with Genjo 3. That feels like what it's supposed to be. I love the content warning, violence and fake blood. I mean, fake blood though? I expect nothing less but violence. Although I do wonder, because obviously the sacking of Troy was a very dramatic event, one of the best kind of like full in a poetic form version we have of it does come from Virgil's The Aeneid, which is kind of the one great Roman epic of note. It is staunchly anti-Greek. Virgil, no love lost on Virgil with the Greeks. Because it is a Roman epic, he is making the case that the Romans are descended from a character called Aeneas, who was a very famous fighter at Troy, who was a son of Aphrodite, and so he's pretty anti-Greek in that regard. Although you could argue it is fascinating to hear that when you consider how writer, if you will, Homer, talks about the Trojans in, say, the Iliad. A good example would be someone like Hektor. Hektor is described extremely respectfully in the Iliad, even though obviously we are technically following the Greeks, you would think, but not so much. Hektor, Priam, every Trojan is pretty much described with the same dignity and respect as the Greek characters, except for Paris. But that's because nobody likes Paris, not even the Trojans. The number of times in the Iliad that Hektor says some version of God if you weren't pretty, or man if we weren't related, nobody likes Paris. All my homies hate Paris. If there are no more Paris haters in the world, I'm dead. Honestly, Paris is the worst. Again, nobody likes Paris. We can play the game of pick your favorite war criminal and like choose your hottest mess of all the hot messes in the Iliad, but everybody hates Paris. Nobody likes Paris. Look, even the Aeneid was not kind to Paris. Everybody knew Paris sucked. So there we go. But anywho, this is our next version of The Horse and the Infant, Jinjo 3. Bring me some violence and fake blood. Let me see here. Ooh, very sketchy. Oh, is that an owl?
Alright, my brothers,
That's totally an
listen
owl.
closely.
I love that nod to Athena.
Tonight we make the Trojans
Stop
pay.
lighting fire in the wooden horse!
10 years of war, they killed us slowly. But now we'll be the ones who slay.
Oh, that's a
Think of your wives and your children.
Look at that hand.
Your
I'm
families
nerding out over the
wonder
art.
where you've been. They're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say and you'll see them again. Yes, sir!
Yeah.
Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards.
Look at the hair.
Menelaus will let our mates through the gates to take the whole city at large.
Kind of love again, we see it's the hair, like that, those kind of curls that really makes me think Agamemnon, Menelaus, related. I like these little small things, whether or not the animators are intending them to be like that, they seem like details that say like, hey, these guys are brothers and related. I really like this style. It's super sketchy. This is what I imagine when I think an animatic, right? But like The Horse and the Infant for me has to be probably one of the most difficult of the songs to want to tackle, if only because there are so many characters who get name dropped. There are so many, like, basically background players constantly involved, because again, you're doing the sack of Troy. So there's a lot you have to animate, and I can imagine that's fucking exhausting. So, like, I commend anyone who decided to tackle a song like this, because, like, it just seems like so much work.
Teucer will shoot any
Hey, Teucer.
Little Ajax will stay back. Nestor,
Screw you, little Ajax.
protector. Neo, avenge your father,
Again.
kill the brothers of Hektor.
Wow, Neoptolemus looked super young.
Use that well of pride.
So Neoptolemus looked legitimately kind of like a kid there, which seems a bit extreme. Now, Neoptolemus was certainly very young when he went to Troy, because so was his father, Achilles. Achilles at the start of the Trojan War is said to be somewhere around like 18. He's notably the youngest one there. And so he dies before he hits 30, because Achilles knew, of course, that sailing to Troy meant he would die. He willingly accepted that going to fight in this conflict was going to basically put the nail in his own coffin. It was the sure sign of his doom. He knew this. He talks many times in the Iliad that, you know, like, I gave up my nostos, I gave up my return home for Kleos. I wanted the glory. I wanted the songs sung about me. He made that trade willingly, which, of course, he does die at Troy. So then they bring in his son, Neoptolemus, whose name literally means, like, new war. So, there you go. But he looks quite young in this animatic. That could just be a effective perspective, or else this Genjo here drew them quite young.
Fight through every pain now. Ask yourself inside what you live
That's a
for,
neat
what
shot.
you try for, what you wish for, what you fight for.
What do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you
Oh,
fight
that's a
for?
cool shot.
Penelope, Penelope, and Telemachus.
Her hair probably would be down. Like, fun fact, that's not a knock. Oh, that's cool effect.
Telemachus, what do you wish for? I'm on my
Broom
way.
helmet's back. Ooh, nice movement. Oh, spears! I got spears! Wow. Look at that motion. Oh, and the red, that's the first bit of color. Oh, and that was yellow. How interesting. But it almost looked like lightning. That's really clever.
A vision of what is
Oh, it's got the thunderbolt.
cannot be
I'm just doing the eagle.
can only be dealt
That's
with
fascinating.
right here and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready
Oh, and he's gonna follow the eagle. That's really clever animation.
to kill someone.
To move him through the story. Oh, was that supposed to be Andromache being taken away? That would explain why she's not here, because where the heck is Andromache? Andromache being the widow of Hektor, mother of Astyanax. Because she would 100% have been in this room, without question. Oh, chubby little baby.
An infant. It's just a boy. What sort of imminent threat does he pose that I can't
I just realized his helmet makes me think of the Martian from
This
Looney
is the
Tunes.
son of none other than Troy's
sorry.
very own Prince Hector.
Oh.
Know that he will grow from
Oh, wow.
a boy to an
With the
avenger.
clouds, kinda?
One fumed with
Oof,
rage
that's brutal.
as you're consumed by age. If you don't end it now, you'll have no one left to save. You can say goodbye to.
Oh, showing him a bloody Penelope.
You can
Great.
say goodbye to.
I wondered if anybody would do that.
I could raise
On the
it by
horse
fire,
toy.
or send him far away Make sure his past is never gone.
Oh, there's that one image of Zeus.
Down on your knees, oh yeah, I'm begging
This is the
you.
will of the gods.
Please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
The blood on your hands is something you won't lose. All you can choose is lose.
Oh, crying Astyanax, so sad. That was... Oh, that's quite an end screen. It's Hector, Andromache, and Astyanax. Oh, Genjo. Now you're really just trying to hurt with that. That's cruel, but I do love the look of Hector. Great hair. Her outfit is a little out of place. Again, sorry, I'm not trying to judge historical accuracy. Her hair probably would have been out, probably would have been braided. That was a various kinds of braids was a very common hairstyle. Oh, that's cute. That's brutal, FYI. Super sketchy art style, but I absolutely love it. I like seeing all the different art styles. This is why I'm here. There was some really cool motion going on in the fighting. I like that the only color we got came from blood, that we got that image of the bloody Penelope, which is just like, I was wondering if anybody would do that during his vision. And also that bit of yellow, that almost of the, you know, ghostly Astyanax, if you will. The spear was kind of yellowish, but then kind of crackled away a bit like almost I imagined lightning. Nice details going on here. All right, so this is the final Just a Man. This is the the final horse and the infant, which also has Just a Man, and this is by Gigi, a name I have heard a lot. I know Gigi is very popular. It just happens to be one of those names I have heard around, so I am very excited. It is also the oldest of the animations, so Virtues was from a month ago. Genjo here is from 4 months ago, but Gigi's from 9 months ago. Wow. I'm very excited to see this. All right, Gigi, let me see what you got, because I hear your name brought up a lot.
All right, my brothers, listen close.
Okay, once again, please stop lighting fire in the
Tonight
wooden
we
horse.
make
You're
the
scaring
Trojans
me.
pay.
But that is cool light.
10 years of war.
That is such cool use of lighting, using the shadows around you so that you're focused in. That's really clever and really smart, because that's not just animation, that's filmmaking. You're thinking of stuff like the lighting.
They killed us slowly.
Ooh, putting on your
But
helmets.
now we'll be the ones who
Odysseus looks a little young. Okay, look,
Think
light
of
inside the
your
horse. I'm just
wives and
saying.
your
This is what I'm
children.
saying.
Your families wonder where you've
He
been.
does look a little young. I wonder if he's...
They're growing old and yet you're still here. Do what I say and you'll see them again.
Yes, sir!
Diomedes will lead the charge.
like, get out of my way. Diomedes busting out of the horse. That's cool shit. That is incredible. I love that. It feels so high energy. And already I'm, looking at the scene, like, even though there's stick figures, I don't care. I see tons of people. I see spears being thrown. I love it. I love it. This is what I want.
Teucer will shoot and the Atlas attacking. Little Ajax
Little Ajax looks like a kid.
Secure Helen and protect her.
Little Ajax looks like, oh, this is the one I have heard, that Little Ajax looks like a kid. Yeah, so Little Ajax, he was just called Little Ajax because between him and Big Ajax was just huge, like physically a massive dude. His shield was said to be so big, you needed, like, to cover it took the hide of an entire oxen, right? Little Ajax just was not that big. You could call him an average height. And little and big are often also translated as greater and lesser, and that not only has to do with their literal physical size, but also with the fact that Greater Ajax was frankly the greater hero. They are sometimes also referred to as, I believe it is Telamonian Ajax, who is Greater Ajax, and Oilian Ajax, who is Lesser Ajax. And I will of course put subtitles if I have somehow misspoken there. And that refers to like their fathers, where they're from, etc. Heroes especially will often get many epithets and names put before them. In the case of the two Ajaxes, that was how they told them apart. You're the tall one, you're the average one.
Yo, avenge your father, kill the brothers of Hektor.
Yes,
Find that inner strength now. Use that well of pride. Fight through every pain now. Ask yourself inside what you live for, what you try for, what you wish for, what you fight for.
What do you live for? What do you try for? What do you wish for? What do you fight for?
That's cool. Oh, Penelope's gorgeous. As she should be.
And Telemachus, I fight for us. I fight for us.
What do you live for?
Penelope.
What do you try for?
Telemachus.
What do you wish for?
I'm on my
The
way.
swordsman?
What do you fight for?
Okay.
Attack!
This is actually really smart. Oh, that's super neat. Like still images, little bit of movement, the sword movement. Oh, he's climbing the walls. This is cool. This is great.
Ah!
Ghosty ghost. Ooh, lightning.
Who was that?
Hello, eagle.
A vision of
Yo,
what is
Zeus
to
in the
come
cloud? Are you kidding?
cannot be
That's cool.
outrun. Can only
Some
be
really
dealt
creative
with
choices
right
going on here.
and now.
Tell me how.
I don't think you're ready. A mission
That's an interesting transition.
to kill someone's son, a foe who won't run. Unlike anyone you have faced.
Door knocker. These are nice little details.
Say no
There's the
more.
eagle.
I know that I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
It's just an infant. It's just a boy. What sort of
Taking the helmet off.
imminent threat does he pose that I
Looks a
cannot
little older, this
avoid?
Astyanax.
This is the son of none other than Troy's very own Prince Hektor. Know that he will grow from
Oh,
a
that's cool
boy
imagery.
to an avenger, one fumed with rage as you're
Yo.
consumed by age. If you don't end him now, you'll have no one left to save. You can say goodbye to Penelope. You can
That's
say
cool.
goodbye to
That little effect, chromatic aberration. Distortion plus the colors going in and out, chromatic aberration. It's very cool. Some nice editing going on. There's a lot of editing. One thing I am missing is like cool use of camera while acknowledging this would make Gigi's life so much harder. I'm not judging because this would make Gigi's life a lot harder. So instead Gigi is relying on a lot of hard cuts and interesting effects later on that I can see. And that's a good way to compensate for the fact that like trying to manipulate your camera essentially just creates so much work for yourself. Like I would love to see it because that's shit I die over, but while acknowledging it creates so much goddamn work for yourself.
I could raise him as my own.
I say, and Gigi just like 360.
Make sure his past is never gone.
I do also like that Astyanax doesn't look like an infant. He's a baby.
I'm begging, please.
will of the gods.
Oh, nice.
Please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this.
The blood on your hands is something you
Oh,
won't
just it disappearing.
All you can choose is who